10 seconds. Well, okay, we'll see how that goes. There it goes. I'll just hold it. There's nothing else I can do. At some point, what I'd like to do is, yeah. See, my quality is going to be terrible. I wonder if this would be.
You're not blurry, like you are at home.
Oh, I'm not.
No, you're fine.
Oh.
You're dropping frames.
Because here yeah, I mean I froze. Do you want me to try it on cellular?
We can. Let me call you back.
Yeah, call me. How does that look?
Honestly, looks well. You're frozen.
It says Yeah, great. It's perfect then.
You were better.
Jeez. Yeah, so
go over.
I was better before. Yeah. So the problem is, like I said, there's so many people here.
Yeah.
They're all hitting the Wi-Fi, like in the room, like that. You know, it was just really slow. I mean, I could go out by the front door and just use my phone. That might clear up cellular.
I mean, it's up to you. It doesn't matter to me.
I'll tell you what. Let me try my phone. Oh, I can't. No, I can't, dude. I can't use the phone because I have that fucking USB audio problem.
Say just switch your device back to Wi-Fi and we'll just run with it. And if it's crap, it's crap.
Yep. Okay, I did put Wi-Fi on. Do you want to call me back?
Yeah, let me switch back.
Okay.
All right.
This is the least shitty, I guess.
All right, we're pumping out to the world.
Do it over here.
Of course, I'm not quick.
Chances I have one note on my phone, 0%. Yeah, like your video completely froze.
You're fine. That's all that matters. Let's see here.
All right, I'm just not going to worry about the video.
Yeah, well, you're sending video just fine.
Yeah?
Yep, you're good.
All right, let's not screw with anything then.
Let me just change one thing. All right, let's rock and roll.
Sam's.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to On the Road Daily. Today's show is brought to you by Cloudberry Lab. Check them out, cloudberrylab.com/FRD. And Paul, where are you?
I'm in the Microsoft, I guess it's a field office or sales office. It's in Malvern, Pennsylvania. I'm here for an all-day developer code camp. I think there's a sleepover.
I was about to ask that, and you jumped the gun. I was going to ask if you brought your sleeping bag.
Actually, there is a second day that's tomorrow. Yeah, I brought my sleeping bag.
Bring your teddy bear. So code camp, what's you coding?
Well, there's all different sessions, and the reason I'm here, frankly, is because one of the sessions is about progressive web apps, and the guy who's doing it, Chris Love, is a kind of a noted PWA guy. He's got a book coming out soon from Pact. He's got like a training thing that he does online, and it's pretty cool.
Is it?
Pretty cool.
Well, when you get back, I'm assuming you're going to code turn Thurrott.com into a PWA, and I'm going to go ahead and put that on your shoulders.
Yeah, as it turns out, using Microsoft's PDA Builder tool, I think we could just do it using a wizard. So it may not require. Well, we'd probably have to write like a manifest file or something, but
Yeah.
it looks like it's actually a pretty easy thing to do. So yeah, we should probably look into that.
Famous last words there, Paul. Pretty easy to do. You're at Code Camp. I'm
Yep.
assuming this will be done by next week.
What could go wrong?
But the hot question of the day, because I know your time is precious, is what machine are
Yep.
you using right now?
So actually, right now I am on the NVX2, which is that Windows 10 on ARM-based device.
Did you bring your charger with you, or did you leave it at home?
I left the charger at home. There's absolutely no way I will ever need that charger today.
Wow, confident man on that side
Yep.
of the on that side of the camera.
Well,
So
by the way,
clearly,
I mean- Guess it's Brett. It's 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Guess what my battery life is? My battery percentage.
I would think like around 50%.
Yeah, it's 100%. It literally is not 99%. It's 100.
Have
In
you
fact, that
used it?
seems almost. Am I looking at a screenshot? Is this real?
This is where Paul finds out that his desktop has been replaced with a screenshot.
No, I've synced stuff to OneNote. I mean, obviously now I'm using Skype. It's probably gonna go right off the cliff, but
Well, if the comments are based on anything, Paul, or tell us anything, you should probably use this thing every day because your webcam is notably better than your old Vaseline-infused one at home.
oh, is that true?
Yeah, you look
So
sharp-ish.
yeah, we went through this in my old house too. So I'm not sure I can blame it on my home's Wi-Fi, but maybe it's time to invest in a new kind of camera because this is something I've noticed. Like when I use like a Surface Book on the road and use the built-in camera now on this device, like oftentimes the video quality is better. And like I told you offline, the connectivity here is actually terrible.
Yep.
Because there's 300 plus people all sucking down the same Wi-Fi here. And we tested it ahead of time on the cellular connection because I got the Project Fi data sim in there. And it wasn't I have bad, I'm kind of in the bowels of the building here. But the fact that my video quality is good, for me, like your video is frozen, so I don't see what's happening. But that's actually kind of amazing. So maybe this is something we need to figure out.
Yeah, maybe we should. And by we, I mean you. So now you've got to fix your webcam, build a progressive web app, code it.
If only I already had like a high resolution video camera of some kind that I could use for podcasting.
Yeah, who would have thunk?
Yeah.
Oh, good Lord. And then the other thing too, Paul, what are you actually using as a desk right now?
Oh, yeah. So I don't know what this room is exactly, but there's a Surface hub behind me, which I assume you can see. The desk that I'm sitting at is actually the old school Surface table with that, that kind of cool purple pink swirly logo they used to have. Looks like a 4-leaf clover. And man, this thing is. I put stuff down on the desk, like the computer and a little case for my headphones and my phone, and it kind of sprung to life. Like it desperately wants me to interact with it.
I wonder if that
do you want me to try to show it to you? I guess I think I could.
Well, I was wondering, could you? What would that fit in your backpack?
No, I don't think it would do that. I'm not going to switch cameras. So what I'll do is
you just
I'm using the Surface Book to prop it up, but I'll move this thing around. Oh, it just got all white. Let me go back to the home screen.
This is the part of the show where Paul drops the Envy and breaks it.
Yeah. Actually, that could happen because the thing I'm holding it by is only held on magnetically. So let's see. Yeah, okay. Can you kind of see it? I can't tell if you can see it, but
yeah, you can definitely see it. The old school. I miss that interface.
Yeah, I put a couple of photos of it on Instagram and Twitter this morning, so there's some cleaner imagery out there.
It'd be a lot cleaner if it was imagery from your house, Paul. Just saying. Proper lighting. It'd look good in your new home.
I mean, it seems to be secured to the floor. I don't know.
If history serves me correctly, Paul, that's never stopped us in the past. But,
I will neither confirm nor deny that I have flight fingers.
Before we go forward here real quick. Oops, what did I just do? What did I just do? I clicked the wrong button. There we go. We are running on all cylinders, and by all cylinders, I mean I'm supposed to get a whole bunch of snow here, which we'll talk about in a second. But today's show is brought to you by Cloudberry Lab. If you're having troubles with your backups, don't like your provider, check out Cloudberry Lab because they back it up a little bit better, more secure, and to basically any cloud you could ever imagine. And it's a nice little thing. And you can go to cloudberrylab.com/FRD for that free trial offer and get your backup on. Paul, so I was looking at the weather, and Paul, you can either confirm or deny what I'm about to tell the world. I was texting Paul last night. I said, Paul, hey, how much snow are you about to get? Because it needed to be more than me. That way I know you're in more pain than I'm going to be in here in the next 24 hours.
You actually said it in a slightly meaner fashion. Let me see if I can find that message. Actually, maybe you sent it over Skype.
Yeah.
Yeah, it says, yes, where is it? Yeah, it might be dead by Monday, blah, blah, blah. Wait, this is last night, right? Last night. I can't find it. But basically, yeah, what you said was something to the effect of, I need it to be worse for you than me. Like it was important to your life, so I can't find it anyway.
Yeah,
but so you've put the fear of God into me, of course, because we tend to get the snow worse than you do. So every time you've mentioned this, and to be clear, everybody, he has mentioned it like 37 times. I have gone to weather.com, looked at my zip code, and it is apparently going to be in the mid-40s and perfectly sunny over the weekend. So I don't know what bizarre weather pattern this is, but I don't think we're going to get snow.
Yeah, this is the one that hurts because basically there's a big screw Brad line of snow coming through, and depends on two things. Apparently it's going to be like a relatively narrow band, but if
like a middle finger kind of a narrow band,
you're not wrong. You're just an ass. But if it's like right over my house, it's like a foot of snow. But if it's off by like a couple miles, then it's like 3 inches of snow. And so they're like, well, we're going to get a whole bunch of snow or not a lot. Anything over 0.0 inches is too much.
Yeah, especially since it is the last week of March.
Yes. I actually have pictures from a year ago. And it was clearly warm enough to be out on the golf range, or the driving range, because I have images of it last year on this date. And yet here we are preparing for the Armageddon.
Oh, I might not have told you this. Oh, no, this came up in our work call this week. This is apparently a common weather pattern that occurs about once a decade. There was a story in the New York Times probably where someone had written in about, this is unbelievable. This never happens. This must be global warming and blah, blah, blah. And they said, actually, this is something that happens on a very regular basis. And there's always, at least when it happens, there's like at least three storms in March. We got 4 this time, but and based on historical data and based on the pattern that causes this is it. Like although you're getting, I guess you're getting a 5th, but this kind of East Coast phenomena where these big storms turn into nor'easters and destroy like half the country.
Paul,
I guess this happens. I don't recall this personally, but I guess it's a known
somewhat
phenomenon.
Amazing. So every day before the show starts, at about 5 minutes before, I say, hey, are you ready? And Paul always responds, yes, but today he didn't, so I just called him. And just now I got the notifications where he said, hey.
I was going to say,
Yes, I am.
So like I said, the Wi-Fi is a little slow here, but I had sat down, I figured you'd be calling any second, and you hadn't, and I picked up my phone, and I saw there was a Skype message, and it was the ready thing, and so I typed in what you probably just saw on the computer, but yeah, it must be delayed for some reason.
But speaking of things that aren't delayed, so Paul, you're probably not too attuned to what's going on the interwebs because your lack of connectivity, you're just being engrossed in PWA content. So Apple has their event next week in Chicago, and what is now expected are cheaper iPads that are going to have full pencil support along with some software stuff.
I like it.
Yep.
I like it.
That's
I think if you flash back a year ago when whatever time, it was right about this time of year, they introduced that new inexpensive 9.7-inch iPad.
mhm.
I'm sure I wrote an editorial at the time that they finally figured it out. Like they could just sell more of these things if they lower the price. And that cheap, iPad did something the iPad Pro never did, which was cause iPad sales to actually go up again. So those guys had seen declining sales year over year for 3+ years straight, I think it was.
Mhm.
And it turns out when you make things cheap, people buy more of them.
Yeah, it kind of pains me to say, but we are actually probably about in the market for an iPad. The current iPad our kid uses only when we're on road trips is actually an iPad 3, the first Retina display iPad,
Yep.
which kind of tells you how long
That's a fairly heavy device too, as far as iPads go.
Mm-hmm. So
it's kind of big and thick,
When we take the road trip down to Florida this year, that's the only time she only really plays with it. But she's getting older now, and they're using them in classrooms, and it's like, yeah, I know it's just minutes away from having to go buy one.
Seriously, we've seen photos of your daughter using like the Surface Studio and everything. This is one of those rare cases where I could say the following sentence: this Apple Pencil thing might actually make sense. Because your child could use that to be creative. Just draw things or whatever. I think that'd be kind of cool.
Right. So that will be interesting. Couple comments, or at least one comment this week, because it is Friday and that's what we do, is it comes from an individual named Dave Helps, adequately named, on the Wonder What's Happening to Wonder list. He said, there's a painful irony in the fact that integrating with Exchange and Office is the hard part about moving to Azure.
That's awesome. I feel like I've said everything I can say about their terrible mobile app strategy, but yeah, I mean, oh my God, it's like, get it together, guys. They really, I usually think of things in terms of Windows, and I've said this before with regards to Windows, that they kind of just need to take a pause and shore up the quality and do that kind of thing. Maybe this is something that needs to happen across the board,
Yeah. And that's the only comment I dug out because I was running out of time because I got somewhat engrossed. So I'm probably 75 months late to this. But Paul, have you ever heard of the game of Ori? I think it's Blind Forest. It was a real popular Microsoft game.
Yep.
Yeah, I downloaded it. I don't know, and I was playing it all morning. Actually, it's the first time I've ever seriously hooked up an Xbox controller to the PC and used it a significant amount of time. I can tell you using it over Bluetooth is garbage, and you got a blue overlay. Whoop, now you're back. That was weird.
It's amazing to me that this is working at all.
Yeah. So I'm actually think I'm going to be in the market here. I have one somewhere in my house. It's probably right next to the tape measure that my daughter hid that I had to go buy another one yesterday at my lunch. I have an Xbox adapter in my house somewhere. Right. But
the problem is it's a black plastic slab that could get lost anywhere.
Yep.
Plus there's a new one now that's even smaller. I'm sure that's even more easily lost.
Yeah. So I need to find that thing because right now I'm wired in. And,
well, you know what though? So wired in is going to give you the best performance. I mean, as inconvenient as that may be, that might actually be the best way to do it.
Yep. I'm in no rush, but if next time I'm at the Microsoft store, I want to see how much the adapters actually cost.
Right.
And yeah. So you've obviously got stuff to get to. You got anything else for today, Paul?
No, I mean, I've been kind of posting a bunch of stuff about this device in Windows 10 on ARM. I did an app performance thing this morning. It's funny. I've run into more app compatibility things that are kind of interesting. Like one of the things I complained about with Windows 10s is that if you get something like a Microsoft Precision mouse, you can't download the drivers because they don't, it doesn't run x86 apps. So I tried it on this machine, and of course, if you look over the limitations list on Windows 10 and ARM, one of them is it doesn't work with x86 drivers. But I didn't think the Microsoft mouse software was so much a driver as it was like an interface. And I thought, this is going to work, It doesn't work. So I also looked a little bit at gaming on this thing, and that's a complete non-starter. I wish I had taken a screenshot of this, but there's a kind of like a big Call of Duty ripoff on mobile that's called, I think, Modern Combat or something. There's a series of these games. And they run pretty good on phones and everything. Actually, they run really good. It's just that using it with touch is kind of terrible. So that's a game you could actually get in the Windows Store and play with a joystick or a gamepad on your computer. It works pretty good. But on on this machine, it gets like 8 or 9 frames a second, which isn't great.
Yeah, that's rough.
That kind of thing. Yeah, so since I've been here today, I've been kind of letting it do the mobile thing, what do you call it, cellular data, because I want to kind of test that. So I'll probably write something about that over the weekend, but um, it's kind of getting to the point where I think I've kind of covered all the high points. So
Yeah.
I'll probably, after that, just head toward the review or whatever.
So one last question for you. What's the battery life at now?
100%. That doesn't seem right, does it? That's kind of weird.
I was going to say, because Skype video calls, this is pretty intensive.
Yeah.
Not that I would
right.
expect it to be down 10% or something, but something.
Yeah, I feel like it's not reporting correctly. I mean, it says, battery usage by app over the past 24 hours. Chrome is number one with 19%, Markdown Pad 16%, Windows Explorer 15, Skype is at 7. But past 6 hours, Skype is number one with 47%. Chrome is number two with 16. It still says, I bet if I rebooted this, it would change. I think that's a bug.
Something. Well, that wouldn't be the first time that...
Infinite battery life.
Yeah.
You just have to deal with really slow performance.
6 to 8 frames per second is what it sounds like.
Yep. Yep.
So, well, all right. Whoops. All right, folks. Well, that wraps it up for today. Obviously, Paul's on the road, so we got to keep things a little bit shorter, although apparently we could have gone forever based on his battery life. But today's show is brought to you by Cloudberry Lab. We'll be back on Monday with should be a normal show unless the snow takes out my house, which is a high probability at this point. But otherwise, have yourselves a wonderful weekend, and we'll catch you right back here next time. Yeah, your image is so much better. It's ridiculous.
Right. It's just bizarre.
Bizarro. All right. Go back to your PWAs. I
All
don't want
right.
to talk to you
Have
anymore.
a good day.
Bye.
Bye.